And this is not a Battlefront 2 video, because we already had big news. If you want to check out the videos that I did, one of my videos will pop up. Just click the little I button if you want to watch the video. But in this video, I have a theory, because The Rise of Skywalker is coming out December 20th, and I was thinking about what could actually happen in the movie, and I came up with this insane theory. So, it starts off on the jungle planet that we see in the trailer. Everything's fine in that. Several years have passed. Then the First Order comes and attacks the base, making the Resistance having to flee the planet. And then, right before they go to hyperspace, Rey, Finn, Poe, and Chewie, and C-3PO, they go in a ship and they go off somewhere else while the rest of Resistance brings the fight to the First Order. Now, the place where Rey is going is to the junkyard where we see C-3PO with his red eyes. They go there because Rey has some dagger and wants to know more about it. And that's the place where she could learn about it. And then also C-3PO might know about it, but since his mind was wiped, they have to go to this dude that will at least bring back some memory for C-3PO, not all of it. But yeah, then that leads them to the Death Star. Second Death Star remains. They go there, they scout out the entire place, and they actually see that Emperor Palpatine somehow survived. And then they find something there that leads them back to Jakku, because on Jakku, Emperor Palpatine had a laboratory. And now they go to the laboratory. The only way they can open it is with the Force. Rey uses the Force, opens it up. They go inside of it. They find Emperor Palpatine's supercomputers that he used because in the Aftermath books, it talks about how Emperor Palpatine heard a voice in the unknown regions, so he made these supercomputers to plot a route that was safe enough through the unknown regions. And he needed supercomputers because you either had to be Force sensitive or just really lucky to navigate through the unknown regions. Because, there's a bunch of storms and that. So he uses supercomputers to plot out the best route possible. And Emperor Palpatine used that route and placed a clone of himself on the second Death Star. And he took that route to see who or what was calling him in the unknown regions. So, back to Rey and the gang, they find his computers and they see the route that he took. So they send the route to the Resistance so that they can follow it and see if Emperor Palpatine is still alive. And then right as they're about to leave the laboratory, Rey senses something and wanders off into the laboratory. And then she sees these cloning tubes and that, and there's just a bunch of clones, but they're deformed and just not really good clones. They were failed. But as she walks through and explores more and more, she sees that the clones start to resemble her more and more. And it comes to the point where there's one clone in the tube that looks exactly like her, and she's like, wait a second, did Emperor Palpatine clone me? So then the Resistance follows the path into the unknown regions. They find Emperor Palpatine on the ice planet, but the First Order and Kylo Ren already got there first, and Emperor Palpatine sensed the Resistance coming, so he had his fleet ready for the Resistance. And then the final battle takes place with the Resistance and First Order, and then Rey confronts Emperor Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine sees Rey and is like, ah, my clone has worked. And sees that Rey is Force sensitive, which means he was successful in cloning a Force sensitive clone. Because cloning a Jedi or Sith was almost impossible. But, don't worry about it. But yeah, Rey confronts Emperor Palpatine, and then Emperor Palpatine controls Rey because Rey is his clone. And then, Emperor Palpatine turns Rey into the dark side, hence why we see Rey with the double-bladed red lightsaber. And then Kylo's there, and Kylo has to save Rey from the dark side, and then Emperor Palpatine kills Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren gets sacrificed, and Rey gets turned back into the light side. And then when all hope seems lost and Emperor Palpatine's about to win, you hear the voices of Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Luke, and Anakin, and then the screen will turn to the Force ghosts of Yoda, Obi-Wan, Anakin appearing, and then Kylo Ren and his Force ghosts appearing, and they're all right next to Rey, beside her, and they rally right behind Rey, and together they use the ultimate Force power, and they use it right on Emperor Palpatine, and they wipe Emperor Palpatine clean, and they make sure that Emperor Palpatine's gone for good. But yeah, and then at the end of the movie, the war is over, Poe settles down, the Resistance builds another republic that'll make sure nothing like this would happen again. And then finally Rey and Finn are gonna come together and they're gonna have a kiss. And then that's gonna be the movie Happily Ever After. But yeah, that's my theory. It's not too specific, but it's specific enough that you would get it. But yeah. And it will incorporate the books, TV shows. It would just connect everything together. And it just makes sense. But let me know what you think about my theory in the comments below. And if you want me to do more theory videos, give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.